People hate to see a confident person who is faithful in themselves coming. They can't stand when someone fully believes in themselves. It's hard for people to be around you when you have so much faith and belief in yourself because it makes them feel small. They will absolutely hate you for it, but it's very important for you to stay the course because what you see, they can't see yet. And they know if you keep your eye on the prize, then you're going to win, and they don't want that.
Being internally validated is like being a bouncer to your mind. I've talked about this in my newsletter. If you haven't signed up for my newsletter, girl, what are you doing? It's tea. I talked about the power of being internally validated. That means you don't let other people's decisions, other people's opinions, even what other people do, like rejection, get into your psyche and your opinion of yourself. Essentially, how you achieve internal validation is you say, I'm going to make a list of people whose opinions matter to me. For me, that's a very short list. You really need to be flexible even with this list. If they start acting up, they can be demoted from the list. So when someone writes something on my page, a rude comment, calls me whatever, people have called me all sorts of things. But essentially what I would do is I would go on the list and I would say, that's strange, you're not on here. The minute you're not on here, guess what? Your opinion doesn't matter. See that? Gagged.
You gotta know who you are because they're not gonna ever tell you. They're never gonna tell you. You gotta know you're beautiful. You gotta know you're smart. You gotta know you have value because they're never gonna tell you. If you're waiting for that moment for someone to be like, oh, you really that girl and I was jealous the whole time. Or, girl, you're like so tea. Like, I was actually trying to like be like you a little bit. I mean, you might get that, but 99% of the time you won't. Like, you just won't get that. So you're going to have to just know within yourself and validate yourself that you are who you are. And that's going to have to just be enough. Because they're not going to tell you. They don't want you to know. Because if you know, you're going to really get everything you're supposed to have quicker. They hoping that you never find out. So, like, please know who you are. You are exactly who you think you are. And if the only validation you get is from you, that's going to have to be enough.
If you allow yourself to get triggered by other people and your mind feeds you insecurities, that is a missed opportunity. Just like any skill, it needs repetition, but do not underestimate how good your life gets once you've learned the art of self-validation. This is how you're gonna do it. These are the 3 steps. The first step to any inner work process is awareness. So you need to know what triggers you, why does it trigger you, and go deeper into that. Like, what is the root emotion that it is triggering? And the second thing is, when this arises, notice your body's tendency to want to distract you. You might want to go on your phone. You might want to start looping in your mind or start getting angry. Anything that diverts you from feeling the emotion in the moment to release it is a distraction. And the third thing is releasing the emotion. The emotions that you do not feel in the moment that they're happening, they are stored in your body somewhere. And I know this as someone who, I had a period of many years where I had a very traumatic upbringing as a child, and I learned to bottle up emotions super young. Now for many years, I've been able to regulate my nervous system and release my emotions to experience joy and abundance and all these beautiful things. And in my bio, I even have a meditation that comes with a workbook on how to release stored emotions and feel those stored emotions that are in your body. But the third step of this is to release that. And you release it by, when it arises, being fully present, noticing physically where it is. Is it in your throat? Is it in your chest? Is it a sensation in your hands? Where is it in your body? And breathe into those areas. There are also nervous system regulators such as EFT tapping, somatic shaking, like literally shaking your body out, exercise, running, humming. These are all ways to regulate your nervous system and to ground you. The key thing here is knowing that you got you. What you're reacting to isn't always reality. It's a mental picture, it's a mental image that your mind is telling you based on your past, based on your conditioning and your programming. So you need to train your brain to know, I have you. I can self-soothe you. And even if our thoughts and emotions get a little crazy, we're going to get back to baseline at some point and it will be okay. And I am here for you. Let me know how it goes.
Want to know the one thing that I did that unconsciously changed my entire life? It's literally just not asking people for permission. Like, I'm literally in Jamaica right now because I woke up one day in April and was like, I don't want to spend my birthday in the US. So I booked a trip. We low-key look for other people to give us permission to do what we want to do. Like, it might not be per se a vacation. Maybe you want to just go to the mall, but you have no one to go with, so you don't go. You know, maybe you wanted to start making content, but nobody's hyping you up, so you stop making content. Once you stop looking for other people to give you permission and validate what you want to do, you're going to be so much happier because you're going to move in life based on what you want to do, not based on other people's validation and not based on other people's, approval. Living your life for yourself and not for others is hard because sometimes it means you have to do things alone. But once you get that confidence and that strength to do that, trust me, your life is going to change for the better.
I make a lot of videos about self-respect, but the reason I talk so much about self-respect is because it is so important. With a lack of self-respect, you can end up in such horrible situations with very nasty people for very long periods of time. Today, I want to talk about validation and internal validation. I tied my value to other people. I realized whenever I would lose a friend, it felt like I'm not good enough for them. That kind of thinking has just meant that all my life I have tied my self-worth to external things, whether that be friends, partners, grades, sports, accolades. It was never internal. Because of this, it has meant that I've had a lot of nasty people in my life. A lot of people that didn't want the best for me, that almost used me as a friend to make themselves feel better. And I was fine with that because at least I had friends, kind of thing. Which is so ridiculous. The second I started looking inwards and stopped looking for external validation and started realizing that the truly most important opinion is your own. I don't want you to be stuck with bad friends or to be stuck in bad relationships because your self-worth is tied to having people in your life. People either elevate you or they are not necessary in your life. People either uplift you or you can get rid of them. And the second you start validating yourself, you will not let things slide the way you used to let things slide. And people will see that. And some people, they're just gonna leave you alone. You don't even need to get rid of them. They will remove themselves. You're gonna start attracting people that actually respect you. If you're seeing someone treat themselves that well, you better be bringing something even better to the table, because that kind of person is not going to tolerate anything lower. If I'm already treating myself this well, you think I'm going to tolerate anything less than that? No. I have an excellent quality of life. I'm not gonna invite anything worse than what I already have. I just want the best for you guys, and you and yourself better be so locked in before you start chasing any relationships. But also, I am aware that my shirt is creased. I actually just couldn't be asked to iron it, and that's the truth of the matter.
So the reason why you keep chasing external validation is because you don't feel secure, you don't feel accepted, you don't feel worthy unless someone outside of yourself is telling you so. When you're young and you're going through these experiences that are painful or traumatic that end up leaving you feeling rejected, unwanted, you're too much, judged, shamed. And because it's happening while you are still learning your place in this world and who you are, they start to shape these negative beliefs about yourself. Nobody likes me. I'm too much. My feelings don't matter. My needs are too much. Nothing I do is enough. These negative beliefs start to affect the way you act, the way you think, and the way you feel about yourself. And guess what? They don't just magically go away because you're getting older. But in order to cope with it, in order to protect ourselves from it, we start to develop habits. The people pleasing, the constant need for approval, the constant need for reassurance, the constant need to feel accepted, not having boundaries, or better yet, staying in unhealthy situations because that is what is familiar to us. And when you do that long enough, it becomes second nature to the point that you don't even realize you're doing it. So in order to stop chasing validation, you have to learn how to give it to yourself, how to make yourself feel worthy, how to make yourself feel valued. And that, my friends, is where the work begins.
People will create chaos in their own life so that they can become the victim of that chaos and then the survivor of that chaos. And so now they have a storyline. Now they have a testimony. Now they feel validated. Some people only find validation in victimhood, so they victimize themselves. And if you are in close proximity to them, you will either also become a victim or you will become the villain. If they are desperate enough for victimhood, they will absolutely make you the villain. And I'm not saying that these people don't deserve love and care and community in relationships. However, you have to be very, very mindful of these types of people in your life. If they are always the victim and you are watching them create chaos, stir pots, and then suddenly they're the victim, suddenly they're the survivor and the superhero in this same story that they created from the ground up, you need to be watchful of them.
You already know what it's like being around people who don't like you. And you already know what it's like being around people who have proven to you time and time again that they don't have your best interest at heart, that they don't really fool with you. And yet you keep thinking that time past will change their heart towards you. Or you keep thinking that you can love someone into having a different heart posture towards you. And I'm asking you right now, Mila Lawson, when has that ever worked? When has it ever worked? You need to be willing to trust yourself. You need to be willing to trust your experience and trust what you know and trust what God has already revealed about these people to you. What they have revealed about themselves to you. If they've already been unkind consistently, why do you think suddenly that their hearts toward you will change? It's not. It's okay for you to decide that you deserve kindness, the same kind of kindness that you give out, the same kind of love and loyalty and truth and honesty and integrity that you show up to relationships with. You are worthy and deserving of that. It's not that you're holding people to an impossible standard. It's just that you have standards. It's that you have standards for your life. And that's how you want to be treated. And it's okay. You do not have to keep letting these people in. Enough is enough. Okay, and I want you to choose you first.
I'm just starting to realize why it was so hard for me not to care what people think. As humans, you need validation, and it comes from two places. Either you have it in yourself, self-acceptance, you know who you are, or you need it from other people. And if you don't have it inside of yourself, you look for it outside of yourself your entire life. You want people to like you. When they judge you, you want to change yourself so that you don't get judged. And that's why judgment hurts, because you don't have self-worth or self-acceptance. So you're like, I need it from other people. Those are the only two options. But when you work on yourself and you heal and you start building self-acceptance, and it doesn't mean you're perfect, it just means that even though I have flaws, I trust myself enough to know that I'm going to grow from them. I'm going to get better because I'm this amazing human being. Then when someone judges you, it doesn't hurt you because you know deep down, I am this amazing person. So if someone else is going to say something negative about me, it's not going to affect me, which is why I'm healing so I can continue building self-acceptance. And I know this seems like such a small thing, but it's such a huge thing for me.
You can't shame someone who only values their own validation. And I know that's a hard lesson for a lot of people. And a lot of people are very confused when their opinion of me, their opinion of my thoughts, their perception of me doesn't faze me. But it's because others have no say on who I am. I know myself. And most of my struggles in life have come from this fact. When you know yourself, it's because you validated yourself. Most times when I let other people in, it's because I just want some entertainment. I just want to let others know what's going on. But I'm so self-secure at this point, and I've been so misled from myself because I'm alternative to what's normalized, that I understand that outside voices are often just tests, distractions, and suggestions. They aren't fact on who I am. They aren't necessarily my reality, and oftentimes they're rooted in control and other people's biases towards you, rather than what you really need to hear and who you actually are. As humans, we all hold biases, and we all bring those into relationships. And we all hold backgrounds, we've all been taught things. And when you're somebody that embodies a lot of differences, you have queerness in some way, maybe. A lot of people will speak into you in a way that doesn't suit you because they're more informed by hatred of people that look like you than the reality of who you even are while standing right in front of them. And a lot of times you have to learn to lean on your own understanding because the understanding of others in regards to you is flawed, biased, and often incorrect should you choose to apply what is spoken to you. So that's exactly why I state.
Your need for external validation is going to get you used and abused. Some of you thrive off of just hearing, you did a great job, you did amazing, thank you so much for what you did for me. You hear this at work, you hear this amongst your friends or family members, and what you're not picking up is that some people use your need for external validation to manipulate you, to get you to do more for them. And if you're not picking up on it, you realize that you will continue to give your time and your energy for free, and you have nothing tangible to show for it. So the next time you decide to give your energy and your time for free, start asking yourself, is this going to lead to something tangible, as maybe a school recommendation letter that's going to help me earn a higher income, or to be in places that I want to be at, or a work, referral or recommendation that's going to help you get a higher salary or something like that. Start asking yourself these questions and stop feeding off of just hearing that you did a great job.
The number one trait that every detached, secure woman has mastered is, of course, the ability to self-validate. Because if you don't learn this, you will always feel completely unstable around other people. So here is exactly how to do it in 5 steps. Step number 1 is stop asking for reassurance that you are capable of giving to yourself. If something feels off, instead of trying to seek reassurance from the other person, instead of being like, hey, are we okay? Did I do something wrong just because a text message felt weird? Pause and ask yourself, do I know that I acted in alignment? If yes, that's enough. It's not about you, and it's not within your control. If you know you did everything on your side, you have to be able to assure yourself in the tough moment so your emotions aren't dependent on what other people say or do. Secondly, is practicing the habit of approving your own decisions immediately. Secure women do not make decisions and then poll 4 friends if they did the right thing, and then second guess themselves, and then ask everybody for advice again. They decide and then they stand by it because they understand that is how you build self-trust. Next is to stop checking who saw it. This is modern day validation addiction, okay? You're checking who viewed your story, checking who liked your post, who replied, who didn't. You have to put your energy into creating your own life instead of checking other people's approval of it. 4 is when you're learning to validate yourself, you have to validate effort instead of outcome. Instead of doing something and being like, was that good enough, and overanalyzing it, or asking if they approve of it, ask, did I show up? Did I try it? Effort is in your control, but approval is not. And 5 is learning to sit in the discomfort of silence. If someone doesn't reply or someone doesn't react the way you wanted, just sit in silence and don't spiral. You do not have to interpret it as abandonment or something wrong. You have to build your tolerance for silence and discomfort by doing things that make you slightly uncomfortable every day and spending as much time as possible alone with yourself without scrolling or without being distracted. When you master self-validation, you will become the most untouchable version of yourself because other people's reactions and opinions do not impact your emotions or how you feel about yourself.
As a Black girl who grew up in the suburbs of Pennsylvania, went to an all-white church, went to a majority white college prep school, like the confidence you see me with, I got it out the mud, okay? I really had to develop a sense and brand of confidence that was not shaken by what the popular opinion was about who was cute and who wasn't, who was smart and who wasn't, who was worthy and who wasn't. None of that really weighed in my favor growing up. And so I really had to develop for myself a brand of confidence that could withstand that. That being said, step one for me was taking the weight that usually gets put on the opinions of others and transferring that weight all onto my own opinion. Do I care what people think? Not really. It doesn't mean that sometimes someone doesn't say something that stings. And it doesn't mean that I'm never angered, annoyed, or at all affected by something someone says. What it means is that beyond that initial flinch reaction, the opinion of someone else does not matter to me enough to sway my opinion of myself, enough to sway my convictions, enough to sway my behavior even.
Now that I'm 30, I just want to say this. Looking at how far I've came, my younger self would be so proud of me. And that's all the validation that I need. I don't need to hear it from a mom, a sister, a brother, a friend, a cousin. I don't need to hear it from nobody because I know that my younger self will be so proud of the woman that I am today. I have so far to go and so much learning and growth to do, but baby, best believe I'm proud of me. I think those who are super hard on themselves and feel like you're so far behind, baby, you are so far ahead than you know. Keep going. Don't give up. We got this.
The only reason why you not caring is viewed as arrogance to people outside of you is because people know that the only way they can control you is if they can tap into your mind and change your perception of yourself based on what they say about you. So when people lose that ability to get into your mind and warp and change the way you feel about yourself, when they see that you have this boundary, the spiritual mental boundary up where you don't allow what they say to stop your show, that is going to trigger people in ways you can't even imagine. Because if the words that I'm spewing at you and the hate that I'm spewing at you is not taking a chip off your shoulder, then how else am I going to do it? And that is when people start getting violent sometimes, because they want you to take in what they're spewing your way. In a way, people want to place an identity on you. People want to give you an identity that's not yours. I went through that since I was a little girl. People trying to place a label on my forehead or a scarlet letter on me. People have tried to give me an identity for years, but my identity comes from God. You are not allowed to come into my space and give me whatever identity you've created based on how I trigger your insecurities, and I'm not going to allow you to change my perception of myself. And that is what will trigger people, because people want to get into your head. Essentially, the way I see it is people want to be God over your life. People want to be the Yeshua over your life. They want you to, in a way, view them as your God. They want you to take in all that they're throwing your way and to just receive it and start embodying it. And I will not do that. So the hate comments, don't care. The hate emails, don't care. I don't even that stuff has zero effect on me, none. Because if I let that affect me, how am I going to get from point A to point B?